And we're
Whoa.
live. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, so welcome to Trucker's Delight. We are only doing one episode this week.
Only one.
Yes, but unfortunately, it is the penultimate episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, Fissure Quest. So I'm Keith F. Shovlin. Joining me is Jason McCammon, and as always, William Wofford. So stay with us as we do a recap. Let's talk the episode. Let's talk, where we see this thing's going, wrapping up next week. So, William, as Marie would say,
there we go.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Every other Vulcan.
And you gotta admit, the dude that was coming down the aisle, he was kind of cute. I'd have carried him on my.
Here we are. Welcome once again to Trucker's Delight.
Like, literally, my mic falls down just as we go live. Hi, everybody.
Who you gonna be?
The captain of the Enterprise Z.
Love that baseball and the teacup. Like, clearly, TNG DS9 fans.
Man, that we see power rates at some point in this season.
What is going on?
Power has shit to do with the power race.
No, everybody, this is actually one of the main screenwriters for Prodigy, so we are super excited to hear from you. And
No one
also,
listens.
I'm a little embarrassed for being as critical.
Man, I really love that intro.
This was a nice touch.
It is a nice touch, Keith. Thanks for saying that. We appreciate it. Welcome, guys. Well, Keith already said welcome, but
yeah, Jason's going to take recap duties this week since I did all four last week.
This is
I
very
will
true.
take recap
He
duties.
valiantly went through all four, and we still made it. We didn't really go over the hour, I don't think.
Just
I was sick last week and I fell asleep, so sorry about that.
Well, if you would have been here, we definitely would have gone over the hour because we wanted to make sure that you got to say everything you wanted to say. So.
Yeah, we could only say like one thing we liked and one thing we disliked about each episode.
Pretty much.
Well, this episode is called Fissure Quest. I'll say one thing. In our universe, we're in the multiverse stage of like everything that we get into. We got the MCU doing multiverse. We got the DCEU doing the multiverse. We got Arrowverse. We got Lois and Superman doing the multiverse. I think General Hospital are probably going to be doing multiverse next. But they threw everything at this episode. I thought it was great. We start out with like our crew sitting at the table, and Rutherford is messing with his Oculus, which is malfunctioning. We haven't really had a lot of Oculus episodes from him so far, but they pretty much end up talking about how Boimler is thinking about what his alternate Boimler would have been doing if he were still alive. He'd probably be off on some adventure somewhere. So we pretty much cut to Boimler. Well, he looks evil, but he's not. We cut to Boimler, who is a captain of Defiant class ship. And what his duties are, and what they are doing is they are tasked with going to each fissure in the universe and seeing what's wrong with it and checking. And actually, they're chasing after the person that's creating it. And that's his job. So he pretty much just goes from fissure to fissure. And on his ship, we have a bunch of people from different universes. We have T'Pol, we have Curzon Dax, so that's before he was Jadzia. We've got Garrick and we've got Bashir. Bashir is a hologram. Garrick is a doctor. They are in love. And at one point, they go to one of these fissures and they end up beaming aboard Harry Kim, Lieutenant Harry Kemp. And we find out that most of the ship that Boimler captains is populated by several Harry Kims from several different universes.
But all of them,
these guys they're all ensigns. And this one that they beamed aboard, he's got 2 full pips. He is a full lieutenant, and he's just like, what? How come none of you guys got promoted? I love that Garrett Wayne did this, by the way. I think it plays great on his part. Meanwhile, Boimler really hates his job of just chasing after who's ever creating these fissures and going from universe to universe. Garrett and Bashir, these 2 lovers, they argue over whose universe are they going to live in once they get settled down, and once they finalize their mission. Are they going to live in Garrick's universe? Are they going to live in Bashir's universe? So this is just an argument they have over their current situation. So another rift opens up, and it's a disgruntled, damaged ship, and they end up beaming Mariner to safety. This Mariner is from another universe, came from the rift. Mariner is, if you notice the color of her clothing, she is an engineer, and she's not the same Mariner. She's more of a scaredy cat. She doesn't really like danger. She doesn't like getting in trouble. And yet this Boimler is just so happy to see her because he hasn't seen anybody from his crew of lower decks, Tindy, Rutherford, or anything. He hasn't seen any of those people. So he's really happy to see her. Also, she has an idea of how to find the people that are creating the rifts, which is the mission of Boimler's ship. Boimler's ship is called somebody fill in the blank?
Anaximander.
Anaximander. There we go. All right. So she has a plan. She understands how this fissure is being made. It's creating radial tachyons every time and creating a duplicate fissure on the other side of the universe. So her idea is if they create radial tachyons first, when they create a fissure, it'll draw that fissure to where they created those radial tachyons. Plan implemented, and it works. A ship comes through. Kind of looks like a Vulcan ship, but it's not a Vulcan ship. That guy, I guess from far away, looks like a Vulcan ship. Kind of like a Vulcan ship mixed with a Stanley Kubrick ship. And they chase them down, and they ending up damaged and landing on the planet. And on this planet, it is populated by what are they called? Quopians, right? Which are usually these technological nice beings, but in this alternate reality, they are not nice. And they throw the crew in jail. When they're in jail, they realize the ship that they were chasing has also been thrown in jail. And it is captained by none other than Lily Sloan in Starfleet, wearing an Enterprise uniform. Now, Lily Sloan, if you don't remember, was on Star Trek First Contact. There she is next to Zephyrin Cochran. And somehow in this universe, she's captaining a ship. And turns out that they haven't been creating fissures. They have been creating fissures, but they haven't been creating fissures to destroy the universes, because that's what our Starfleet thinks. If somebody's creating these fissures to destroy our universe, they're creating fissures because Zephyrin Cochran did not invent the warp drive. Her Zephyrin Cochran invented the quantum entangled drive or something like that.
Well, she did, and Zephyrin helped her. So
right.
The reverse of what it was in Prime Universe.
So instead of traveling through space, they travel between universes to explore the universes. And what they didn't realize is that every time they opened a fissure, an alternate fissure also opened somewhere else, and that causes damage between all the multiverses. They didn't realize that, but this is how they choose to explore space. And so it's still Starfleet, just a different type of Starfleet. So once they realize that, they get together, they decide, hey, let's get out of here. Meanwhile, on the ship, Garrett and Bashir were not captured. They were hiding on the ship, kind of like what's his name in season 1 of Voyager, season 2, whatever. So they get together and they rescue the crew out of prison, basically. Once they get to Lily's ship, they fix it up. She tells Mariner how it works, and all of a sudden the ship gets stolen. So they have to go back to Boimler's ship to leave the planet. Once they chase down the other ship, they hail them, and they realize the ship was stolen by all the Harry Kims. So the 2-Pip Harry Kim was getting really kind of aggravated that all the other Harry Kims of the multiverse were just like 1-Pip Kim. You're a 1-Pip Kim, you're a 1-Pip Kim. Everybody's a 1-Pip Kim. He kind of feels like Kims are not respected. So he stole the ship to captain them to brand new horizons where they can all just be great ensign Kims. They're actually not down with that, so they sort of mutiny against him. Apparently, it's that drive that he has to be kind of a renegade that made him 2-Pip Kim. They don't have that, so they're still 1-Pip Kims. He ends up transporting them back over to Rutherford's ship. I'm sorry, to Boimler's ship, and he goes into the rift, but his ship is damaged and explodes, and this explosion could pretty much destroy the multiverse, all of the multiverses. And Lily Sloan has an idea, and she's like, well, I can get this explosion to just direct into one universe of our choosing instead of destroying all universes. So William Boimler says, let's send it to my universe because I know that my people can handle it. And Boimler gets the Boimler of our universe gets the message, and he freaks the freak out in transmission.
Well done.
Is that what happened? I think that's what happened.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, now here's what really happened.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now let's fill in the holes.
Okay. we should do a new thing that says it's called Star Trek. What had happened was
That part, honestly, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, how do we feel about this? I thought I pretty much liked it. I mean, with the multiverse, you can do so many things, and it's great Star Trek candy to see some of these characters involved in this episode, right from T'Pol all the way up to Lily Sloan was a really surprising element that was added. I was surprised by the Harry Kim, but not surprised because we knew it was coming. But then you're like, oh, this is the episode.
Yep. And not only did they bring the characters back, but they got the voice actors are the actors who play them. So Jolene Blaylock has returned as T'Pol, Alfre Woodard back as Lily, Garrett Wong back as Kim, Andrew Robinson as Garrick, Alexander Siddig as Bashir. The only difference is the person who played Old Man Curzon in Deep Space Nine. Obviously, that actor has passed on, but we never heard his voice anyway. So
Yeah. Anyway, right.
for this, it's Fred Tatasciore, who is the same voice actor who does Shax, that is voicing Curzon in this.
And to me, he seemed like Shax. He had Shax written all over him for his character. So, yeah, good pull, I think.
I'm sure that if Renee, I forgot how to say his last name.
Auberjonois.
Yeah.
Thank you. If he were alive, I'm pretty sure they would have casted him.
Yeah, from the episode where he merged with Curzon. Yeah,
I think that does that keep them from doing it because the person isn't alive anymore? It's kind of a strange thing.
Well, it's not like the Generations sequel that we saw over November where you have to there's a lot of things that you have to go through. First, you have to you have to record a complete library of their voice, and then you got to get their family's permission, and then it's just so and then you got to get even though it's a cartoon, so I guess you can get away with that part, but yeah, it's yeah, I think it's, even though it would be beautiful to recreate, just as if we were on a holodeck, I think at this day and time, it's more trouble than what it's worth.
But we did have that in Prodigy, the episode called Kobayashi Maru, where
Oh yeah.
Dr. All was going through the Kobayashi Maru on the Enterprise with Odo as his tactical officer, and they used audio of Rene from episodes of Deep Space Nine, so that even though he had passed, we still had his actual voice. So they got permission from the family to use it for that.
Okay, that's sweet.
And it's a thing now where I think that studios are asking people before they die, like, you know, and especially prominent characters. Like if you're Darth Vader, they're gonna be like, "Yo, man, if you die, we gotta, you know."
Well, they write likeness rights into the contracts now, and I've seen that with like the Star Trek Timelines game, where they are very slowly bringing in characters from original series as they're getting likeness rights for these characters, because no one thought about likeness rights when the show was on the air,
Right.
and many of those actors have passed on. So like they just recently added TOS Harry Mudd. For the first few years of the game, the only Harry Mudd you had was Rainn Wilson's from Discovery. But now that they finally got the likeness rights agreement from Roger Carmel's family, so now there are two of the TOS version Harry Mudds in Star Trek Timelines. But everything, all the Star Trek contracts now include likeness rights.
You guys can use my likeness. Just make sure you pay my family. That's all.
We're not getting paid now.
But by then we'll be getting paid. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, that's nice. You have that idea.
If the AI can actually predict what I'm going to say, because I don't know if it can do that.
Can I touch on that for a second? I had the most interesting conversation with ChatGPT last night. Like, and they're basically AI, and
they are definitely AI.
Oh yeah, and I was like, you know what? As creepy as this is, screw it. So I started asking it questions. It didn't really ask me anything unless it pertained to the subject that I was asking about, like how, like, this is random shit. Like, what is the capital of New York? Stuff like that, you know, because I wanted to keep it to like that. Well, anyway, I just typed in something random. I said, "Are you like the computer from Star Trek?" And it said, "Not entirely. I'm not as advanced." And I said, "At least you know." And then I just typed in "plot a course to Vulcan Warp 6." They said it said it'll take 3 days and 12 hours to reach there. I'm trying to figure out how the hell does it know the Warp 6, like.
We know what warp speed is.
It's an actual speed. Like it's not just
right.
something
But I don't know the formula for. I knew it was faster than the speed of light, but I didn't know.
The computer would.
Well, because for almost each show, they kind of changed the rules a little bit from TOS to TNG.
From TOS onward, yes, but
after TNG, they sort of solidified what the actual speeds were.
Right.
Yeah.
And it helped me name my ship. It's called the USS Endeavor.
Good name.
I will say my experience with it is I was building a website, and the website builder that I was using didn't quite do what I wanted to do, so I had to write a custom code. Right, and I don't code, so I had a conversation with ChatGPT, and after about an hour and a half, I had my whole custom code created that I needed to do what I wanted on my website, and it made me kind of comfortable in knowing that, you know what, I can do whatever I want. I just talk to ChatGPT and we can come up with it. And I'd be like, oh no, okay, this is good, but just change this and let's do that. This is good, let's do that. And then like a couple of weeks later, I came back on and I just said, hey, this is Jason, remember me? He said, yeah, last time we talked, you wanted to do such and such with your website. How's that working for you? Do you want to continue with that, or do you have another project you want to work on?
Yeah, that's the kind of things that last back.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get off Star Trek. But yeah, what do you think, Will,
about this particular episode?
No.
I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't. It's everything that I wanted, you know. It's just everything. Like, I'm like, Oh my God. Why is it always the last 2 episodes before cancellation that it is just good?
Are we at the last 2?
Yes. Next week's the
Mhm.
final episode.
What?
Mhm.
I didn't realize that.
And they even addressed for a lot of people the elephant in the room about how repetitive it is to keep using the multiverse to expand your storyline just because every other show is doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boimler hit on that, and I
Yep.
was like, yes.
So
Yes, they mocked Marvel, they mocked DC, they mocked
Deadpool kind of did that too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
And-
Deadpool,
and
yes, yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't like a big bad. I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't even a big bad that was coming for the multiverse. It was an accident. Like,
Yep,
right.
and then it turned into a big bad.
Well, here's the thing though. William Boimler is actually alive. So when I first came on, I thought this wasn't a real thing. I thought it was sort of
No, because at the
Boimler
end
was
credits,
No, there was a post-credit scene from the episode that he died in that showed that he was alive.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
No, I'm glad
Crisis Point 2 to Paradoxus at the end that shows that he lived and they faked his death to get him into Section 31.
I'm glad they brought him back, and it's just interesting to see. So I like to see how they're weaving all these riffs together. You know, I like to see if there's going to be like a big finale with it, or actually we actually know at this point what they all were. So
Yeah.
there's no more mystery with the riffs.
Right.
I mean,
Well, the same thing happens every season. We've had this when we've had a long story arc. The penultimate episode is where we find out what the mystery was, and then we
Right.
solve it in the final episode.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we have to figure out what they need to solve because it's not like they're with unfriendlies. They're with friendlies, and now the friendlies understand it. So, but I guess maybe they have to close all of them now, or I don't know.
no, they're closed.
No,
They're closed.
Kim blew it up.
Oh yeah. So I guess now we have to figure out how to not get the whole universe destroyed.
Yes.
Honestly,
Our universe.
where is it? I know I have it. Come on, William. Here it is. Kim, evil Kim. There he is. That stressed out look with his hair in front of his head like that. I was like, there he is. That's the guy that I know. That's the one I know.
Yeah, that's
Except-
the look.
That's the look, because I looked and I found it. It's just like, now it's not the same one as, like, you remember the episode, I don't know if it was called Fear, but he faced off fear, and in this, it was an AI program that would give you a heart attack.
Yes, the one with Michael McKean as the clown. Yes.
Oh, beautiful,
that was so
beautiful
good.
episode, beautiful.
So good.
But then this is young Kim, which I feel like we've seen in one of the duplicates, not even duplicates, one of the Kims, and then this is like, regular Kim that we see in seasons 5, 6, and 7, and then,
including the Delta Flyer Kim too.
right, and then we get futuristic Kim and sovereign Kim,
I didn't
which
see
someone
Future-
just
we
put
didn't have
that.
future Kim.
Yeah, future Kim. Yeah, we didn't see that, but it's just like, it's the closest thing I can get to different Kims.
Okay.
But
No,
it
we
was
didn't have
cool.
Rogue Kim or future Kim, so yeah. Oh, well.
Oh yeah, we have like racing Kim. Well, so he was the one that was he was in his timeline he was racing, wasn't he? Because the one we know, it was Balana and Tom, right?
No. Remember? Okay, so there on the Delta Flyer was Balana and Tom. On another ship was Harry with the woman Andrea or something like that, and she actually was sabotaging the other ships, and she ended up shooting Harry.
So I mean to ask about this in terms of Harry, because I wanted to save it for this. So
It's called the Thaw.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
the
That's it.
thought. So what Harry traveled through, it was something with the shuttlecraft, something went wrong, and I'm guessing each of these Harrys went through a similar situation, which is how they ended up there.
Yes.
He traveled through a fissure and ended up back on Earth in an alternate timeline where he never went on Voyager.
Right.
Like, so is that how each of these Kims like ended up here, because they each had a similar story? Like,
We don't know how Boimler picked all these people up from different dimensions. Like somehow
It seems like
It keeps
it seems
picking
like
up
none of these
Kims.
Kims can catch a break.
right.
In fact, technically, Harry Kim is dead.
Yeah. Well, the understanding that I got was that they going through these fissures, then they would find something that was somehow affected by the fissure, and would have to rescue someone. So in most cases,
Right.
it was Harry Kim,
Mm.
and in one case, they were really lucky and got Mariner. Yes, thank you, Marco.
Do you
Marco.
feel like each? Oh, I see what you're saying. Do you feel like each time it was like it was that time Harry Kim, like the older one, had to
Right, because I'm viewing
each one was from that.
Well, yeah, I'm
see what you're
viewing
saying.
Harry Kim with that Fissure episode, which I'm calling it a Fissure episode now, from Voyager, the same way I'm viewing Worf from Parallels.
Right. But there's also an episode where he was older, timeless,
Yes,
and he had to also do this, but he did it voluntarily.
that was
with
the
Tom
100th
Paris.
episode of Voyager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it was
So
more like sending a message to the past, though.
no, but he still had to open something.
Well, that was Rogue Harry Kim, but yeah, we didn't get one like this. Everyone we've seen is, except for the one that's in the uniform, the newer uniform, the gray top uniform, were aligning to some point on Voyager.
I'm sitting here going like, even I call the gray uniforms the sovereign uniforms, but even Sovereign Kim is like, he's still innocent.
Yep.
But but it's like, I feel like Trekkies have kind of like piggybacked on Harry not getting a promotion the same way, almost the same way picking on Wesley.
I think no,
Well,
I think
even
it's
more
opposite.
so. Even more so.
But I think that the fans are more so on Harry's side rather than like making fun of Harry for not ever
Right.
making it. But then we're on his side, like, yeah, man, you should have. We don't get it. You should have been.
Well, it is the ongoing joke that he is the forever ensign.
Yes.
Yeah, and I get that they are on his side, but I think there were like moments we may have like as a community may have like took it too far, maybe.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like,
That's what
you're in
people
deep
do.
space for 7 years. How are you going to get a promotion? Like,
Not a lot of room for promotions. On the
Tuvok
ship.
got promoted.
Right.
he did?
Tuvok was lieutenant at the beginning. He was lieutenant commander partway through. Tom got promoted, demoted, and promoted again.
I mean, well, yeah, that's
Tom came in. They gave him provisional lieutenant JG.
Neelix
then they
got
made him-
promoted.
Yeah, then he got demoted to ensign at the beginning of season 6. Then he got promoted back up to lieutenant. And when he did, Harry goes, "I don't see one of those boxes on my chair." Because
Mhm.
the way they promoted was he goes to sit at the helm, and the box with the pip is sitting on the
Right.
chair. And Harry immediately called out, "Hey, I haven't continually fucked up all the time. How come? Where's my pip?"
Actually, Harry had very little fuck ups from Harry. Had sex with the wrong woman once, but
Yep.
It was the whole thing. Honestly, great scene between him and having that argument with Janeway. I love that singular camera shot when went from one room to the second room to the third room. And I'm just like, oh my god, that's acting.
there's a lot of good camera work in Voyager.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, they had
even-
excellent directing.
Yes.
Mm,
Anybody notice Boimler's got a full beard?
he does now.
Well, now he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been growing in week by week. Yep, it looks
Look at him
good.
with that William Riker beard. Go get you some, man.
It's a good beard.
There you go.
And of course, our alternate Boimler, William Boimler, only has the stubble. But what's funny is the stubble is full as if he had the full beard.
Mm.
So that it looks like if he wanted to grow the beard in, it would be a full beard.
Right. He's just got a
Whereas-
Bob Top shadow.
Whereas Bradward was coming in bit by bit.
Also, can we address how fast this, even though he's in section 31, how fast he made Captain?
Right?
I'm sitting here going like, how many? So this was season 1 of the beginning of season
Beginning
2.
of season 2 is when he was duplicated, and then it was season 3 that he died.
Now he's got his own ship.
So each year he got promoted.
People. But why does this ship have all alternate people? The entire 100% of the crew is alternate people from the
considering how did he take the ship to an alternate galaxy, alternate universe by himself and start picking up people?
Right.
That sounds like a Voyager plot.
Somebody must have died off.
Oh, and can we talk about how they like really picked up and I think this is more your area, Keith. They talked about B canon, where I think they made fun of Kirk being like Borgified.
Yes.
Like, and
they're like, saying alternate dimension. Yeah, yes, that it is the William Shatner series of novels that the Borg resurrected Kirk.
I think it was called The Return, right?
Yes.
Nice.
I know what I would like to see. Human Worf would have.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Because I'm gonna say, like, because I didn't know where they were going with that. I was like, Human Worf. The only thing that I can think of was when what was that species called? Yeah, B'Elanna, but like the species that split her just because
the Vidians.
The Vidians. They made her human and Klingon, but human. Like, I'm like, did they did that to Worf or someone?
But the thing is, Worf is a full Klingon. He just was raised by humans.
Right, that's true.
So it's kind of like, what happened? Like, unless we see something in like, because you remember, if you seen the not a cameo, the small clip from Strange New Worlds, and everyone is turning Vulcan.
Yes, that was the Comic-Con clip that they released.
Right. So maybe it's like, I don't know, something like that.
Could be.
Because they did say he's put a lot of emphasis on we're supposed to be strange new worlds, not a derivative of the same thing.
Yeah.
Did they even wait? But was he human once in DS9?
Never.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and
Far Beyond the Stars.
Far Beyond the Stars. He was human.
But it wasn't him.
Jackie Robinson, and he was
Willie Hawkins was.
Yes, that's what it was. The baseball player.
Michael Dorn as Willie Hawkins.
Yeah.
And it was the imagination of Cisco. But yeah, so we didn't actually see a human Worf. We did see things that were close to it. William, you okay?
What's happened? Is there a fly on the wall?
Must be a spider.
Or a cat.
I don't think it would be a cat. Okay. So basically, we got our what if of Star Trek.
Yeah.
We got one in Next Generation. Now we got one here. And we got one in Prodigy, too, sort of. But, well, no, that was just the mirror universe. But
I was wondering if they were going to try to. Well, it's not the same timeline, though. Something was going to connect between them, but I haven't seen it yet.
At the same time, Prodigy is slightly farther in the future.
Yeah,
from where we are in Lower Decks.
But apparently, sodium isn't a full life, from what T'Pol says.
It was a big book.
Well, considering in the very first episode of Enterprise, she was highly critical of eating habits. It's nice to see that continues.
Yes. Well, it's really weird when you write stuff in, and you've written this in. Now this has to be the thing, like forever, right? There's very few, like except for like the Warp 10 deal. I think people decided let's just skip over that and not make that canon.
No. They just made the statement that they readjusted the warp scale in the 100 years between. That's all. It's nothing too complicated.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had a conversation with wait, I feel like someone said this recently. Where is Scotty when you need him? He's
in the comics. He's the chief engineer for the Theseus with Cisco.
Because I feel like between Scott, I'm not gonna say it was. I feel like the warp speed between the Enterprise as the Constitution, both original and refit, as long as Scotty was on it, was always faster. Because how did you get to the center of the galaxy in less than a week?
Well, let's just skip over that as well.
No. I got one more. Where no man has gone before, or where no one has gone before. Why does it take 300 years for you to get back, but Voyager 75 to get a quarter across the quadrant?
Well, no, where no one has gone before, they went to an alternate galaxy.
Yeah.
So I thought they were like a way outside of ours, kind of the same
No,
way.
they were pretty far.
They were
Kind
in
of
an
the same way
alternate
like the
galaxy,
Travelers.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was arose by any other name from season 3 of TOS, where they started going to the Andromeda galaxy, and it was going to take them 100 years.
The
Right.
math for
That's
Voyager
incredibly fast.
the math for Voyager works out as far as what they've established how fast starships can travel.
Yes.
The math for Star Trek 6 does not.
Star Trek 5.
5. Yeah, 5. Does not. That's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just giving credit
Shatner
to Scotty.
wanted it to get from point A to point B, so he made it work somehow.
Because
Right.
it's
Not making it work.
there should be like a what if for like filling in loopholes, because it's like, for me, I'm just gonna say that that Scotty took the transwarp drive off of the Excelsior, put it on the refit, and made it to the center of the galaxy with no problem at all. Because that's transwarp technology right there. If you're gonna get
I'm
that
just gonna
fast.
say that there's a lot of things in that movie that people will just decide I'll be okay if I act like it doesn't exist. It's not real.
Kind of like in Relics when he said,
Like
"I bet Jim
Cybok.
Clark got the Enterprise out of mothballs."
No,
I'm
that's
gonna blame.
because they hadn't written Generations yet.
Yeah, and I said, even though we know that this took place before Generations, I'm going to say that he has been in there for 80 years, so he's just automatically going to think that this is because his friend Franklin got disintegrated, so why wouldn't, Scotty be temporarily confused, right?
Yeah.
Well, they also have like what is it, radio tachyons? I don't know if we've ever heard that before.
I know tachyons have something to do with time travel.
Yes.
Yeah,
or
because
those chronotons. I forgot.
Protons and tachyons.
And
yeah.
tachyons. Tachyons are like particles that theoretically move faster than the speed of light.
And neutrinos are like wormhole, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of. It's a way of identifying wormholes.
A way of identifying it. Okay.
Right.
By the way, shout out to all the people that's watching us on YouTube right now. It just went up to 9 that fast. Like, hello, how you doing?
I want to point out.
Is that your come up in the club? Hello, how you doing?
I don't know. What was that?
Come
Keith?
around here.
I want to point out how great it was that they used the circular ship design for the Beagle, which is it was first designed by Matt Jeffries as a possible design for the Enterprise. Yeah, that's it. That is actually Matt Jeffries' design for the Enterprise that NASA is now using for. So that is the XCV-330, which was first shown in the display in Star Trek: The Motion Picture of past ships named Enterprise. We then saw it on the wall of Archer's ready room in Enterprise on the NX-01. We saw it on the desk of Admiral Marcus in Star Trek Into Darkness. And of course, you could get it from Eagle Moss, and later Master Replica, and now the new company. But when NASA started publicizing the possibility of a faster travel than currently, they had the electromagnetic drive, or EM drive. They foresaw it on a ship that looked like this. So they used that design for the Beagle, and also that was also used in The Martian in the movie by Andy Weir. They have sort of form of that for the Hermes spacecraft that carried the crew on the Ares missions to Mars. So it's nice to see that design started with Star Trek and has permeated the culture.
Well, it's interesting that it's not a ship that's built for warp drive.
Right.
It looks antiquated as far as like,
but rather riding the waves of gravity.
Yep.
Through space-time, as I heard Neil deGrasse put it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's what they said they were doing? He said they're riding the waves of gravity?
Well, not that literally. That's what William says. But it's something like, instead of like traveling at warp, which would compromise you to like time dilation and stuff like that, you're like riding something else. Like you're kind of like, you're still like putting 2 points in you. You're just riding it versus just going fast,
Here's the thing, though, that they always do in movies is they ride waves.
13 people. Wow.
They ride waves all the time. And here's the thing we're going to get in an argument about.
Mm-hmm.
Waves don't push material.
Currents do.
Yeah, currents will. But waves...
Keith is like, oh, Lord, here we go.
But they do this...
He's drinking the cup.
They do this in every movie. They're like, we'll just put an explosion behind us and we'll ride the wave.
We saw that in TNG when they literally rode the wave. I don't know how many times, but they did.
And we saw it in Next Generations.
The Nexus? Right? No.
At the beginning, yes, they did. When Kirk died, they rode the wave out of there after he got killed.
No, they didn't. They used their deflector dish to blast a hole through the temporal through the energy ribbon they were trapped in. They didn't ride that. They escaped that.
I'm wrong then. Somewhere they rode the wave.
It's TNG where it was like this wave thing, and they had to like ride
Keith
it.
Is Keith still right now, or is that with some good ass milk?
I'm gonna assume that he is, because I'm gonna say,
like, what?
He's not frozen. I don't think he's frozen. No. I don't think he's frozen, but for a while I thought he was. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was. He's like, I'm not putting this down until this ridiculous debate stops. Because I'm gonna let you know right now, there is not temperature in space.
Oh, we're not going there today. Anyway,
I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know. It's like if I should call Comcast or what is going on.
Lord, Keith, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Anyway, how about Boimler's beard? Or did we go over that already?
Boimler's beard?
Yeah, we covered that already.
Oh, I was about to call Comcast.
I was kind of hoping that I would see like Crusher at some random cameo just walk past bearded Boimler and just say again, like, because you remember the poker scene where all the men, they all had beards, including Geordi.
I wish we had the payoff of that, of all of them shaving their beards at the end.
Hey, but this is of all things that have happened, because I think Marvel MCU's Endgame, what was before Endgame? Infinity War had a huge consequence, right? It was like half the universe.
Yes.
But I think right now we have the largest consequence. We have had the largest consequence of all multiverses everywhere being destroyed.
Oh, you mean
was a possibility in this show?
I think that was DC.
Well, DC did it too. The Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Crisis on Infinite Earth.
They all died. Yeah.
The Anti-Monitor, right?
Yeah.
Yep. They did do that
at the end.
And they ended up going back down to one.
This was a genuine accident, though, that we're facing.
Yeah, this was the definite genuine accident. Yeah, this was
right.
All right, what did we think of Alternate Mariner?
You know,
I thought.
Go ahead.
Okay. I thought it was a really cool idea, but I just didn't see the difference in her character.
I saw there's quite a bit of difference. This one was more measured, more shy, more reserved.
Maybe she just didn't sound different. Maybe it was just the tone. I expected like the tone of her voice to be a little different.
She took the same energy that we're used to seeing her and redirecting it somewhere else.
Yes.
Into being a badass engineer.
Right, because she's a badass either way, but I mean, the Mariner that we have now has also grown since we've met her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not to say but this one seems to have already made that leap and then some, you know?
Well, no, she never went through.
She never went through it.
So she's from a universe of perhaps that she never became friends with. What's her name? The woman
from yes, Wesley's group.
Yeah,
the Bajoran.
Yes. Shoot, I hate that I'm blanking on her name.
She's a studious Mariner.
But that we met last last season, and it goes back to the original Lower Decks episode.
Right.
Jaxa, Cedo Jaxa.
Cedo.
Mm-hmm. Cedo, yes. So maybe this one wasn't influenced by Cedo and became a regular up and up officer, but also was much more reserved.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they got locked up, she said she'd never been in a prison before, whereas our Mariner loves the brig.
Just loves it, makes friends there, has spent a year in prison.
And even the Dos Cerritos, the first episode of the season, when we had Captain Becky Freeman, she loved the brig too. So we've seen 3 different versions of Mariner now. 2 of them love the brig. We lost Jason?
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be back. He always comes back. There he is.
Who comes back?
You do.
That's who's Bazak.
All right, so we got an older DePaul who had been married to Trip Tucker for 63 years.
Yes.
So tracking, let's see, that was 2150. So that would be 20. Oh, we're still 100 plus years.
Wait, did Tucker die? Did he have kids? Oh, she's
No.
I already texted Maxwell and told him in this universe, I think it's clear that Trip lives.
Yes.
Right.
Because
well,
she said
if they were married for 63 years, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting number to choose. It kind of reminds me of the year 2063, the year of warp flight. I'm like, why did you choose 63? Yep. But anyway, Trip lives.
63 years. So let's say if they got married at the end of Enterprise, which was 2154. So that would take them to 2217, which is still 50 years before TOS. And of course, we are 150 years beyond, 100 years beyond TOS with Lower Decks. So we're talking 150 years. So
she should be pretty old by now.
But once again, it's a case of, different universes, different time spans. Because Lily, Lily Sloan was born in the 1900s.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Here we go.
Or if not the 1900s, the early 2000s.
But that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing that this Starfleet learned to explore by going to different universes, because that's what they learned to do first.
Well, it actually is something I've seen in sci-fi. If you look at, say, Terry Pratchett with the Long Earth series, or where you had people where they explored alternate dimensions because they learned how to step into alternate dimensions.
Yes.
And then you had
who wrote?
Shoot. All right, I'm not going to admit that I can't remember the name right now.
There's a TNG episode where that's what one of the guys was doing. The old guy had a blonde wife. They were Silver. Data ended up solving the problem. Oh, God, what was the guy's name? But anyway, that was his thing. He was figuring out how to go into separate universes, and it sort of backfired on him.
I'm trying to remember that one.
Great. Jesus, I can't remember the dude's name.
You're not talking about the time travel.
Oh, Schizoid Man.
Schizoid Man, yes.
Yes. That was
Ira Graves. Now, what was the guy's name?
Ira Graves, yeah.
It was Ira Graves. Okay.
Why do I know that name?
Well, it's just a common enough name, but it was a case of, it was supposed to be played by the guy who was the star of The Prisoner, and then he had backed out at the last minute and was replaced by Shepard, Morgan Shepard.
Wait, did they still have Paris? That's a different episode?
That's a different episode, and that's We'll Always Have Paris. And that was a guy who was messing with time, and he was married to Picard's ex-girlfriend.
Right. So I got that mixed up.
So Isaac Asimov, he had a series of books about time travel that I believe it wasn't tied to iRobot. I don't remember what series this was.
I'm waiting for Foundation 3.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So there's the Foundation series, which is about time travel. There's the Robot series, which is about obviously robotics and that. I'm trying to remember the name of it. He had at least one of the books on time travel. I hate that I can't remember this right now.
It's gonna come.
Okay, you guys keep on talking. I'm gonna try to figure this out.
Okay. Well, my point was, it's just a really interesting change of dynamic of, and Lily was trying to explain this to Boimler, is by just exploring different realities. We're exploring different realities of ourselves and just humanity. Like they don't even know any other aliens. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that they weren't by Earth or anything. I guess they never. I guess space is big, so if you open a fissure somewhere, they didn't need to travel to any planets around that fissure. They just opened another one, so they just stayed in space. But
they probably have like a protocol to be like, hey, stay on the playground, not at home. You know.
Well, yeah, they did. They had a prime directive that said they could not interact with any other species that didn't have multi-dimensional travel.
So they have their own prime directive.
They have their own prime directive. It was the same thing. It's why they didn't answer hails and they didn't talk to Boimler and them, because they just took off leaving.
So the only place they could realistically visit in our timeline is Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
because of how many times
they did it at will. Yeah. They did it at will.
Okay, so there is a book by Isaac Asimov called The End of Eternity, and it doesn't really fit within either the Foundation or the Robot series, but there is connections. But the idea is that no one in this Earth, they perfected time travel, but it can only go up to a certain point. So it's like 150,000 years in the future, and then suddenly you can't go farther into the future. There's something stopping you from doing it.
So if you go 100,000 years, you can't go another 100,000 years from there. You're still just stuck there.
No. From in the time scale, it's from where they invented time travel. You can't go that. But the reason being is because beings farther in the future sabotaged the time stream to keep them from going past that point. So because they realized if they went past that point, certain things would happen. But but also those beings sabotage any attempts to work on space travel. So the culture is pushed to search through time, and so they put all their efforts into time travel instead of space travel.
Okay.
So they are all about studying history and studying the future, but they spend no time actually leaving the solar system.
There's also a thing where they say you can't travel back in time further than the first time machine, because that's when time travel is created. So if initially, once you create the first time machine, time travelers from the future will just start showing up, because that's the furthest back that they can travel, because they're limited by when the time machine was created. I mean, that's just
or if you use the original quantum leap setup, you were traveling within the lifespan of the person who leapt, the person who stepped in the machine. And that was, so Dr. Samuel Beckett, you can only go as far back as to the day he was born. So they kept it stuck within a 40-year period.
So that way you don't alternate too much of history if something were to happen.
Yeah, they kept them from having to spend a lot of money on doing like a Wild West sets and like
I was going to say
back in history.
It's cheaper that way.
Yes. So yeah, they did a lot of United States in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s. Yeah. And then when they did the reboot a couple years ago, the first thing they did was they fixed that glitch that allowed him to go beyond his lifespan.
Hey, Rayhar.
Oh, that's a spammer.
Oh,
they
man,
don't that one. That's a spammer.
That's a spammer.
But that was going to be my homie.
Yeah, that's why I didn't bring it up. But
hey,
I will say,
Jason, if you want to reach out, that's all you. But I'm telling you, that's a spam.
Yeah,
that's a
spam right there.
My company is doing this. My company is doing this thing where it keeps sending us spam emails and trying to get you to click on it.
I've been getting spam emails left and right on my Just Keep Filming site, and I'm trying to make it stop.
Well, they're trying to get you busted. They're trying to, if you click on it, they're going to bust you and say, "Hey, man,
yeah, it'd be a code.
This is a corporate thing. You have to be more vigilant, diligent."
I had a meeting on Tuesday about we got hacked. Well, somebody hacked somebody in an office that deals with my organization got hacked, and it didn't end up dealing with their organization at all, but it got into ours. And I got affected because one of the people, some of the people I deal with when scheduling tours, were hacked, but they did get into my email, but it ended up compromising our system. But we had a meeting this week and said, okay, nobody did anything wrong. Nobody clicked on anything wrong. Somebody outside got connected and they got into the system. Nothing was taken. Nothing was damaged. But and we can't go into it now. We can't tell you who we think is responsible. But we're looking into it. And here's the FBI. And the FBI just told us a bunch of, gave us a lot of ideas on who it could have been and say how to be careful in the future.
Who is the FBI of Starfleet?
The FBI and Starfleet?
Who would the equivalent of
that
FBI
would be Internal Affairs.
Right.
I guess they do have
Section
Internal Affairs,
31.
don't they?
Yeah.
Section 31 is more like Black Ops, right?
Yeah, that's Black Ops. That's CIA, NSA.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think of that they never mentioned Section 31 in this episode?
I have a question. Why don't they? Why? Well, he was making a log, but and I understand that you don't really want to have a record of it, but why didn't they say it? I mean, we knew exactly what it was.
Maybe because something to do with the fact that the movie comes out next month and they don't want to make it look like the two are connected.
I guess.
I saw a trailer for it again.
Yep. Well,
How long have they been? How long have they been putting commercials on Paramount Plus?
Like they started this week.
Oh, no. They've been, at least since I've been watching Lower Decks, it's been happening.
Well, they've been putting the commercials on Paramount Plus for at least a week. They've been making the commercials for everywhere else for almost a year.
Well,
what do you mean making
the full trailer was released this week. We had a
I'm saying commercials, period. I'm saying commercials, period.
Well, the commercials are cut from the main trailer, which was just released.
No. I'm talking about commercials about pancakes or fucking shoes or whatever. Liberty Mutual. Just commercials.
I
feel like last year I didn't watch commercials. Now I'm always watching commercials.
Well, it depends on what level that you have of subscription to Paramount Plus.
Right.
They must have changed the tier. They must have changed the tier or whatever.
Yeah,
they did.
Because if you have a basic Netflix membership now, you're watching commercials.
Oh,
yeah. This is why when Prodigy came out, I subscribed to the $22 a month one. No commercials, and it's in 4K.
Prodigy, I didn't watch commercials. Oh wait, that's Netflix, so I was fine with that. But yeah, I don't remember watching commercials on Paramount until I was watching Lower Decks this year. All of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they keep on redoing the levels, and if you didn't upgrade then to no ads, then you got ads.
All right, Dan.
Yeah. All right, we're just under an hour, and you know what? We've covered a lot. We got a lot to think about for next week. The new Next Generation next week is the final episode. We know that it's back to our core crew. We probably won't have any more. We won't have more alternates probably because now we just got to deal with the repercussions of 2-Pip Kim.
Yes.
Yes.
2-Pip Kim.
Yeah, that's what he's listed as on. Well, Memory Alpha is kind of not fully up there, but it says 2-Pip Kim as he's listed. So.
Oh man, I thought I made that up.
No.
I'm never original.
Sorry, man.
Damn.
There's only so many ways you can come up with things, but
I'm really wondering how our Kim is doing right now.
And of course they had Anaximander. For those that don't know, Anaximander is the Greek philosopher that first came up with the idea of multiple realities. And what the heck? I was on the page and suddenly it went completely blank. Yeah, ancient Greek philosopher, among other achievements, speculated on the existence of multiple realities. So, yeah. Of course, we first saw this ship in season 3, Crisis Point 2, Paradoxus, in the cutscene in post-credits.
My mind goes completely blank all the time.
No, but I went to the page for the Anaximander, and suddenly the screen just went blank. So, something's going on with Memory Alpha.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Gabrielle Ruiz, who voices Talin here. Today is her 1984. So today is her 40th birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, Gabrielle Ruiz.
Team Millennials.
Yeah. So you said that. I was going to clap.
Yeah.
I was going to clap until you said that. I'm like, oh. Whatever. I'm not shitting them. We've been shitting on millennials for like 30 years now. They're all old and grown, and it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, seriously, I was at a thing with my daughter's scout troop this weekend, and there was a kid behind me that was, talking about generations, and he was just mocking millennials. Like, what the hell are you, kid? All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave your thoughts on this episode, and in fact, the whole season of Lower Deck so far. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen in next week's final episode? Whether we're actually going to get a solid ending that ends the overall story, or if they're going to leave it open to possibly maybe come back. But in the meantime, like and share. And if you want to join the conversation, reach out to us. We'd love to have you.
Sure would.
So, William, Jason, final words? Anything you want to say?
Excited for the last episode. Sad for the last episode. Why's it got to be the last episode?
I know.
Man, whatever it is, I hope they do it right, because they only got one chance.
One shot.
One shot. Don't miss.
They better have Klingons, Borg, Species 172, Binars, 8472. Everybody must got to be in it.
Honestly, I'm expecting like this Fissure kind of like the ending to No Way Home, when everything was opening up and everything was coming in, or like, or blah, blah, blah. Maybe we'll see everyone. Maybe we'll see everyone. Let's see how Archer's doing, right?
It better not be a musical.
Oh, God.
Who knows?
Thanks, guys.
All right, roll that beautiful footage.
And you wait, Jason, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you being right now? I gotta know.
I'm serious, dude. You got
like 10 out of 10 serious, or picking on Michael serious? Which one?
There is no temperature in space. It's not cold.
What are you serious?
Okay, wait.
Who is this? Oh dear God! It just got better.
Because you said his name.
Welcome to the party, Michael.
No, that is not how we're going to end the episode, because Keith actually has like a legitimate news update. He knows shit, and we should possibly like convey that knowledge.
That's my favorite line. He knows shit.
It's just like a black and red mound. It's like.
Why are you describing yourself?
What the hell?
Hello from
Hey, Virgil.
Hey,
Virgil.
welcome.
Hello, Virgil. Welcome. Who are you?
Who?